Hey everybody, it's Paul from Canadian Woodworks and Legacy Lumber coming at you with a new video. We are putting together a dining table, 9 foot by 42 inch. So stay tuned, we're going to show you how we take these two slabs and turn them into a fully finished table. Step one, go over the measurements the client actually wants. Super important. In this case, we're 9 foot long. The slabs are about 10 feet. We're going to rough cut to length, usually 2 to 4 inches longer than we need. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now, just with a handy skill saw, and then we're going to get these on the CNC. We want to balance the twist that we have. You can see here, if I push down on the slab, it has some rock to it. So I want to measure and make this side to this side be the same height. And I do that just by putting a wedge in here and then double checking the height. I get a lot of questions saying, how do we clamp the slab down from moving? And all we have to do is make sure a clamp is at all 4 corners, pressed tightly against the slab. Doesn't actually clamp on the slab itself. It just has a little friction fit there. It's going to stop it from sliding. So the CNC that we have is a 3-axis CNC from Avid CNC. I went out on Amazon or eBay. I just bought the spindle straight from China. This is 6 horsepower. We got lots of power. And this is an RC2252 Amana Tools carbide insert bit. So it has an insert that you can replace if you hit metal or when it dulls. Very, very handy. But to note is this has 2 cutters on the bottom as well as 2 on the side. And a long time ago, I was getting burning from the bottom cutters, so I've removed them close to 4 years ago, I think. And I've never used them again. So that does 2 things. I don't get any burning. I actually get a better finish in hardwood with just the side cutters. And also, it's cheaper because I don't have to replace those bottom bits when I hit metal. So not so bad. So we're going to go ahead and get this slab flattened, make some sawdust. I'm going to start the CNC cutter. It's going to be spinning up. I'm going to have it higher than the slab itself, drive over to the highest spot. I'm going to very slowly just lower this head onto that spot as soon as I touch it. I'm going to clean that spot manually, clean the other corner manually, drive it off of the sled. I'm going to lower it 0.2 of an inch. I'm going to do another manual cleanup. And then I'm going to see where we're at from there. Sometimes we're good to go. I can then go through my planer or flip it over flat enough. But sometimes I'll have to do another pass. And for that one, I will run a computer program for the pass. So let's get to it now. We've cleaned up all the high spots. And you should see it from this side over to this side. This side had a little bit more cup to it. So now we're going to be dropping the bit 0.15 of an inch. And I'm going to run a program actually, not going to do this one manually. So let's get it set up. One sec, Justin. Filming? Yeah. We're good. All right, so that was 2 passes. And like I said, I just dropped it down in the high spot, did a manual pass, and then I dropped it down 0.15 of an inch. For us, we have a planer that's big enough. So even though I didn't fully finish this slab, we're able to run this through the planer, clean up the other side, and then clean up this side. So I'm going to stop there. I don't need to do any more work. It's faster through the planer. But if you don't have a planer this big, this is about where I would stop. I would then flip this slab over. It's going to rest flat on your bed. Put those clamps on the side so it doesn't move around. Drop down your 0.15, clean it up, clean that side up 100%, and then flip it back over and clean this side up 100%. There's a chance the wood likes to move a little bit because you're taking the stresses away from one side versus the other side. So that's why I don't like cleaning up the one side fully before doing the other side. Fortunately, we have a giant, huge planer, so we're going to finish up the second slab, and we're going to see you back at the planer. Multitasking. Hey, man, what's going on? Just saw you called.
Not much, man. I just sent Christina your way.
Okay. So we're done with the CNC. As I mentioned, fortunately, I have a huge, gigantic, really, really big planer that these slabs can go through. So I only really need to get one side 50% flat, and that's going to guarantee us that the slabs are going to be coming flat out of the jointer planer that we have there. And it's actually going to do both sides at the same time. Once we have them surfaced down, we're going to decide where to cut off the live edge. We're going to use the Festool track saw. We're going to cut off the inside live edges. I like to add floating tenons, which is also done by the Festool domino. We're going to do that on the sides, and that aids in horizontal alignment for when we glue up these two slabs. We're going to throw some glue in, throw some tenon in, tenons. We're going to throw some tenons. We're going to throw some tenons in, clamp up with some glue and some clamps. Hope you can follow all that. Y'all ready for this? Don't miss the shot, bro. Oh. All right, so we placed the slabs exactly how they're going to get glued up. I added some alignment lines about every 12 inches for the domino. Easily done with the Festool, also called the domino. Basically going to go ahead and do that now. This is pretty much a foolproof thing. We're going to set our depth, set our height, and we're going to line up to our little tick lines and plunge this bit in. Now, it does offer a wide as well as a tight option. One side the whole way I do tight. The other side I do all wide except for one of them being tight. That way it's going to keep it aligned where I want it to be, but it won't be as difficult to glue up, to pull them together because they're going to be looser. So let's do it now. You actually don't necessarily want glue in the domino holes. They're just used for alignment. Horizontally for the glue up. All right. Now I'm going to tip this down carefully, pull these off. Next one's going to come down. Great. Hopefully get these relatively in line. So far, so good. Beautiful work. Okay, now I will always do one over top, one underneath. Let me figure this out. There we go. Now this is where we have these two crotches and we have a gap in between. The pressure will never get applied to the glue joint fully. I have to put a wedge in here so it doesn't close up. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. This is what I'm talking about. That should do. This one's got bark in here still. It might be okay. We'll be removing the bark, but I think we're okay. So I'll do the over top one just to make it easy. Go more to the left. How's that? Okay. Well, we got fantastic squeeze out everywhere. The table's sitting nice and flat because we got even clamp pressure wanting to go this way and wanting to go that way. Whew. All right, that's nice. So we're going to leave this in the clamps for a few hours, overnight if you can. We're going to come back, pop the clamps out, and hopefully we still have a table. All right, we've left the table overnight. The glue is all set up. In part 2, we're going to be filling the defects with epoxy, trimming the table to length, and installing C-channel in the underside. So everyone, thanks for watching. Smash that like button, of course. Subscribe if you're not already. And comment below if you got any questions. We'll see you in part 2.